صباح الخير ومرحبا بكم. أهلا وسهلا. Good morning, everybody. My name is Edmund O'Sullivan, and I have the privilege and the honor of moderating the annual International Water Summit, a key gathering that is part of Abu Dhabi's world-renowned Sustainable Week that began yesterday with the World Future Energy Summit. Thank you all for coming, and I want to thank all our speakers for agreeing to participate in this three-day event and sharing their insights, their knowledge, and their vision. There is a really excellent agenda that I know will change the way you think about the water sector of the Middle East in general and about the Abu Dhabi and UAE in particular. I'd like to thank our sponsors, and you can see who they are. We should be covering in this conference a full range of issues facing the water sector in the region, looking at the complete supply chain, from groundwater to final consumption and reuse. And we shall learn how water reuse is becoming a critical element of the Middle East's water sector. And we'll also hear from the regulators, the planners, and the water industry service providers who are working together to ensure consumption and waste is minimized and preferably eliminated in the water supply chain. Now, before I introduce our opening speaker, can I just draw your attention to this little device, which has been presented before you. The first thing you need to know is this is not a gift. Don't take it with you when you leave. It's provided as a service, okay? So this is going to allow you to ask questions during the course of the conference. And the way you do it is you look at that welcome page and you'll see a question mark in the top right corner. And you press that question mark and a dialog box will come up and you can put anything you like in that. So you could perhaps like to test run it if you wish. So during the course of any of the presentations, if you've got any questions, press the question box, put in a question, make a comment if you wish, and then we will address those questions at the end of the presentations as much as we can in the time available. So it's a wonderful facility, make use of it. Now, the story that's going to be told at the International Water Summit is one of the most important that the region is addressing, and one of the most important water stories in the world. It is a compelling tale of commitment and vision, and it begins with the Abu Dhabi Water and Electricity Authority, ADWIA, the International Water Summit's strategic partner. So will you now please welcome our opening speaker, who will be addressing you in Arabic, Engineer Arif Hassan, who is Executive Director of Privatization and Program Management at ADWIA.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسعدني أن أرحب بكم جميعاً في أبو ظبي للمشاركة في أسبوع أبو ظبي للاستدامة، وتحديداً في القمة العالمية للمياه 2016. وفي هذه المناسبة يسرني أن أرفع أسمى آيات التقدير والعرفان لصاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن زايد آل نهيان رئيس الدولة حفظه الله، وإلى صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن زايد آل نهيان ولي العهد لإمارة أبو ظبي نائب القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة رئيس المجلس التنفيذي لإمارة أبو ظبي للرعاية الدائمة والدعم المتواصل من أجل النهوض بقطاعي الماء والكهرباء واستدامتهم. يعد موضوع الاستدامة للمياه من أهم المواضيع الاستراتيجية التي باتت تشغل اهتمام الباحثين والمختصين نظراً للأهمية الكبيرة التي تحتلها مسألة المياه على المستويين المحلي والإقليمي، والتي تعتبر مصادرها المائية محدودة، خصوصاً مع التزايد السكاني والتوسع في استخدام المياه بقطاعي الصناعة والزراعة. وتأتي مشاركة هيئة كهرباء ومياه أبو ظبي في القمة العالمية للمياه كشريك استراتيجي تماشياً مع أهدافها الاستراتيجية والمتمثلة في تحقيق الإدارة المستدامة والمتكاملة للموارد المائية، إلى جانب تبادل الخبرات العالمية والوقوف على أحدث الحلول والممارسات التي يتم تطبيقها لمواجهة كافة التحديات التي تواجه قطاع الماء على كافة الأصعدة. ولمواكبة شتى المتغيرات والتطورات المتسارعة لتعزيز الإدارة الفعالة وتفعيل الكفاءات والحفاظ على مصادرنا المائية. ومن أجل تفعيل دورها قامت الهيئة بعدة مبادرات من شأنها دعم استدامة المياه، وأود المرور عليها على بعضها. أولاً، قامت شركات التوزيع بحملات ترشيد استهلاك المياه، وخاطبت جميع شرائح المجتمع وشجعتهم للمشاركة في هذا الواجب الوطني، وقامت بصورة أساسية باستهداف الجيل الصاعد من خلال تواصلها مع مجلس أبو ظبي للتعليم حتى يتم ترسيخ مبدأ الترشيد لديهم منذ الصغر. ثانياً، مشروع التحكم الآلي في شبكة توزيع المياه، والهادف لتحويل شبكة المياه للعمل بالأنظمة الإلكترونية الحديثة، والتي تمكن من إدارتها وتشغيلها والتحكم بها ومراقبتها عن بعد. ويأتي هذا المشروع ضمن جهود شركة أبو ظبي للتوزيع الهادفة لاستخدام الوسائل الإلكترونية الحديثة في كافة عملياتها، مما يوفر الكثير من الوقت والجهد والأداء الاقتصادي، وفي نفس الوقت يضمن جودة واستمرارية الخدمات. ويتضمن المشروع تركيب أجهزة إلكترونية تمكن من التحكم في أجزاء الشبكة وتحديد الكسور وتسرب المياه منها حتى قبل تلقي البلاغات من العملاء، مما يساعد على توجيه فرق الصيانة بالسرعة والدقة العالية للقيام بأعمال الصيانة. وهذا المشروع سيمكن من تحقيق أحد الأهداف الاستراتيجية للشركة، وهو الحد من فواقد المياه، وبالتالي الاستخدام المستدام لهذا المورد الهام وحماية البيئة لمصلحة الأجيال القادمة. ويوفر النظام أيضاً معلومات دقيقة وآنية عن سير العمل في الشبكة وتحديد مواقع الاستهلاك الأعلى والأقل منها، مما يشكل إضافة كبيرة لجهود الشركة الهادفة لوضع الخطط الخاصة بتوسعة الشبكة حتى تلبي النمو المستقبلي على الطلب. ثالثاً، عملت الهيئة على اختيار أحدث التكنولوجيا في مجالات تحلية المياه، حيث أنشأت عدد من محطات التحلية التي تعمل بالتناضح العكسي لتحلية مياه البحر. ونظراً للحاجة للمزيد من هذه المحطات، عملت الهيئة على تحسين أداء وفعالية هذه المحطات تماشياً مع طبيعة البيئة المحلية من خلال إقامة محطات تجريبية بالتعاون مع شركات عالمية متخصصة. رابعاً، اهتمام الحكومة بتطوير منظومة التخزين الاستراتيجي للمياه المحلاة في جوف الأرض ليتم استردادها في حالات الطوارئ، حيث قامت الهيئة بالتعاون مع شركائها الحكوميين بتنفيذ أول مشروع حيوي من هذا النوع في إمارة أبو ظبي. خامساً، لم تغفل الهيئة عن أهمية إعادة استخدام المياه المعالجة ودورها بتحقيق قدراً من الاستدامة من خلال تطوير مستوى معالجة مياه الصرف الصحي لتكون صالحة للاستخدامات المناسبة، حيث يساهم استخدام تلك المياه في توفير تكاليف رأسمالية لإنشاء محطات تحلية إضافية جديدة، ناهيك عن الآثار السلبية البيئية المصاحبة لتلك المحطات. وأخيراً وليس آخراً، وكما يعرف الجميع، دور الطاقة المتجددة في الاستدامة والتي هي محل من اهتمام حكومتنا الرشيدة، قامت هيئة كهرباء ومياه أبو ظبي مؤخراً بإطلاق أولى مشاريعها الكبيرة في مجال الطاقة المتجددة، حيث وجهت الدعوة للمختصين بصناعة الطاقة الشمسية بإبداء اهتمامهم للمشاركة في مشروع سويحان للطاقة الشمسية، والتي تبلغ طاقتها الإجمالية 350 ميجا واط. وهذا وقد بلغت عدد الطلبات التي استلمتها شركة أبو ظبي للماء والكهرباء حتى الآن ما يزيد عن 85 طلب، وهذا إن دل على شيء فإنما يدل على ثقة المستثمرين بمنظومة المنتج المستقل التي تم استخدامها بنجاح في إمارة أبو ظبي. السادة الحضور، لا يفوتني بهذه المناسبة أن أتقدم بالشكر الجزيل لشركة مصدر على استضافة هذا الحدث الهام وكافة الجهات المنظمة التي ساهمت بضمان تحقيق النجاح المستمر عاماً تلو عام، وكافة الجهات المنظمة التي ساهمت بتحقيق هذا النجاح، ليحجز لنفسه موقعاً متميزاً كمنصة هامة للتبادل المعرفي بين المعنيين بالقطاع المائي من أجل البحث في الفرص والتحديات القائمة والمتوقعة، وتسريع العمل لوضع استراتيجيات جديدة واعتماد تقنيات مبتكرة بغية لتحقيق استدامة المياه. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Engineer Arif Hassan from ADWEA, for setting us on our way with an excellent opening statement which covered all the big issues we've heard. ADWEA has a six-pronged strategy. The distribution, controlling the consumption, the managing consumption of distribution, the very important introduction of technology to control and measure losses in the system, including data management, the use of state-of-the-art technology in desalination, the strategic water project, and Abu Dhabi is leading the region and actually the world in its water storage project. We're going to hear about that. The reuse of water and water processing, and then the introduction of renewable energy, principally in power generation, but it will have an influence on water production. So what I want to say at this point, first of all, engineers, first of all, thank you for being here. And thank you for delivering such precisely targeted points, which we will be exploring today and the next 2 days. Secondly, can you accept on behalf of everybody here the congratulations that we all, the admiration, sense of admiration that we have for the work of ADWEA over many years in developing one of the region's most effective and efficient water distribution systems. It really is remarkable. And thirdly, every possible best wish for the future. You have a team of friends and partners here and wish you every possible success. So will you please show your appreciation to Engineer Hassan and ADWEA. And I'd like to acknowledge the presence of your colleagues. I hope that the delegates here will take the opportunity of meeting Engineer Hassan and his colleagues so you find out more about ADWEA and how you can work more closely with all its parts. And now we move on to our leaders, water leaders panel. So I would like to introduce, to call to the stage, our 5 participants, Mr. Mohammed Al-Mullah, Mr. Saif Al-Qubaisi, Dr. Mohammed Khamad Dafei, Engineer Mohammed bin Jash, and Alan Thompson. If you'd like to come to the stage. Thank you. Alan, you're in my seat. Okay, right. Let me introduce the panel to you so that you can be sure who the individuals are making the points. And can I again invite you to make use of this wonderful device. You can submit questions through this. What you do is you look at the home page, at the top right-hand corner, there's a question mark. You press on that, we'll have a go in it. And then in the dialog box, you can just put any question or comment you'd like, press it, and it'll go through to the administrators, and we will try to address as many of your questions as possible in the Q&A session, which we're going to try and squeeze in before 10:30 when coffee comes. Right, having said that, let me introduce the panel. Now, you look at the panel on the left. On your left is Mr. Saif Said Al-Qubaisi. Mr. Said Al-Qubaisi is Acting Director General of the Regulation and Supervision Bureau, which is the regulatory authority for the electricity and water sector and the water reuse sector in Abu Dhabi. It's a unique institution, had a tremendous influence on the way that the water and electricity sector is run. Now, if you move next, I'm very pleased to welcome Mohammed bin Jash, Managing Director of the Abu Dhabi Water and Electricity Company, a critical agency, the off-taker from the privatized water and electricity system, and a key player in long-term planning for water and electricity demand in Abu Dhabi and obviously in the UAE. As you move to the center, right, okay, yes, Dr. Mohammed Yusuf Al-Medfei is Executive Director for Integrated Environmental Policy and Planning at the Environment Agency for Abu Dhabi, the environmental regulator for the Emirate. And now as you move to the right, And second from the right is Mohammed Al-Mullah, senior expert for electricity, clean energy and desalinated water sector in the Ministry of Energy. That is the federal agency dealing with the whole of the UAE, not just Abu Dhabi. And finally on the right, Mr. Alan Thompson, very distinguished managing director of the Abu Dhabi Sewage Services Company, a division of the Abwea Group, which is responsible for the sanitation system of the whole of the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, but of course with particular attention to the great city of Abu Dhabi where we are now. So this is our panel. Will you please welcome them? Okay, as I've said, please feel free to put the questions in. I'm not going to be taking hands, so you're going to have to submit your questions using your iPad. So you've all got one. If you haven't got one, this session will be conducted in English. So use this to put your questions and comments. Okay, first of all, we're going to turn to the federal ministry, the agency responsible for developing the vision for the energy sector of the UAE as a whole. And Mohammed Al-Mullah, senior expert for electricity and clean energy and desalinated water in the Ministry of Energy. So I have a couple of questions. Just tell us a little bit about the ministry's vision for water sustainability for the UAE as a whole. Abu Dhabi, of course, has its plans, Dubai has its plans, and all the individual Emirates have that, but the federal agency's got an overarching vision for the Emirates as a whole. So what is the vision for water sustainability and the policies that you're pursuing to promote reduced water wastage and higher levels of water reuse?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am honored to be a part of this prestigious panel here today. I work for the Ministry of Energy. The overall vision of the Ministry of Energy, we are working to achieve a community which preserve its resources, water resources, energy resources, and mineral resources, to achieve long-term sustainability. Basically, the ministry is responsible to organizing and developing overall federal policies, strategies, and legislation in order to preserve our energy, water resources, and mineral resources. Just to give a glance of what we are doing right now, at the moment, the ministry is working on a very important project initiative in partnership with all our partners and stakeholders in the water-related authority institution in UAE, which is the development of UAE Water Security 2036. This is a very important project, consists of objectives to develop UAE water grid. So basically here we are talking about a comprehensive interconnection between the UAE water network. We are talking about strategic reserves and storage of water resources. We are talking about to enhance the efficiency of our water system during normal operation and during any kind of emergency incident.
So that strategy, did you say 2030?
Yes, 2036.
2036?
Yes, up to 2016 to 2036.
And when will this vision strategy be published, do you think?
Actually, it has been just launched last week. And it's a one-year project. And I hope that by next IWS, I will be able to present the key outputs of this project.
Very good. And in terms of in what way is the ministry acting to promote water efficiency and water reuse and other improvements now? We're doing the vision. At present, am I right in saying that for the moment, the individual Emirates have the prime responsibility for delivering the sustainability agenda for the UAE?
Yes, of course. The ministry work hands in hands with all water entities. And as I mentioned before, we're responsible of the overall policy, overall integrated water resources policy. For instance, another particular project, we just finalized a draft law legislation, piece of legislation for electricity and water conservation in buildings, and this will be applied all over the UAE, and of course will be implemented, followed up by all, let's say, local authorities.
Okay, so when do you think that law will come to effect, Mr. Al-Mullah?
I can't give, precise time, but hopefully within this year. Hopefully within this year.
And just one other thing, you are responsible, your unit's responsible for desalination policy as well. To what extent are you examining non-thermal or membrane-based ways of producing desalinated water? The overwhelming majority of water coming out of the network in Abu Dhabi and the UAE is from thermal desalination. What do you think the opportunities are for using non-hydrocarbon-based systems, moving to membranes and other approaches to water desalination in the UAE?
Yes, this is part of the what we call it the water energy nexus. I mean, the whole topic should be addressed under water energy nexus. At the moment, the membrane-based technology, basically RO technology, reverse osmosis technology, contributes around 20% of our UAE water production system. Personally, I believe this percentage will increase during the coming years. At the moment, the ministry also parallelly developing UAE energy strategy 2036. Again, the topic of water energy nexus will be part of this strategy, the UAE energy strategy 2036.
And that will be a separate strategy.
This is a separate strategy. Will work along. Will be developed parallelly to water security strategy 2036.
And done by your ministry as well.
Exactly.
Good, excellent. Well, that is excellent starting point. So we're not the UAE as a whole is marching forward on a sustainability agenda, whilst the Emirates themselves are working very hard to achieve their own sustainability goals in water and electricity. And I want to talk to Said Al-Khubaisi, Acting Director General for the Regulation and Supervision Bureau. For people who are not familiar with the Bureau, perhaps you can provide a quick summary of the achievements of the RSB in the Abu Dhabi water reuse sector, to summarize the work that the RSB has done so far.
Sure. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am a delegate to be part of that session to speak about the water use and efficiency and reuse. The RSB has been established in 1998 under the law number 2. Our vision is to supervise and regulate the safe, efficient, and economic use of water, wastewater, and electricity in the Emirates of Abu Dhabi. We are supporting the government initiatives through monitoring the economic growth, the need for the Emirates of Abu Dhabi from different resources in water, electricity, and wastewater. And we are driving efficiency through different initiatives and different programs within the Bureau. We established code of practice. We have supply code. We have other code of practice for storage tanks, how to clean the storage tanks, and we have also the transmission security standard, distribution security standards. And we are working closely with the different sectors and the stakeholders within the Emirates of Abu Dhabi to ensure the efficient use of water.
Very good. And then maybe you could say a few words about some of the vision you've got for 2016 and the kind of initiatives that you're going to be taking in the water and water reuse sector in 2016 and beyond.
Let me go back to 2013. In 2013, the Bureau has launched the water-wise and power-wise offices in 2013 as an initiative to understand the consumer behavior within the Emirates of Abu Dhabi, trying to gather details and data about consumptions. During that time, from 2013 going forward, we work closely with all stakeholders, ADDC and AADC, to establish the water and electricity bills, in which it will show the residential of Abu Dhabi, how much they are consuming and how much is the subsidy the government is paying for. And that moved forward as the first stage. And then in 2015, the tariff reform has happened. And now we are living and breathing with the new tariff. And we notice the consumptions going toward the right direction. And we can see changes in consumer behavior, and now everyone is let's say, consuming resources in efficient manner, and we maintain and we work closely with the stakeholders to ensure that we are taking care of our precious resources, because water is one of our precious resources.
And how effective do you think the WaterWise campaign has been? It's fundamentally a voluntary initiative, isn't it? It's promoting a change in behavior in the consumers.
Yes, WaterWise promote changes in behavior, and in 2014 we conducted 2 projects. One is water home use audit. To understand the behavior, we took a sample of medium-sized villas to understand how the consumer are behaving, how they are using the water, and we learned some details and information about their behavior and this. And the other project we conduct is the in-home use audit for the water. We installed some of the ablutions and apertures in the houses, like water facet, and we monitor and look at the behavior of the usage. And definitely there is differences between the before we implement the project and after we implement the project. So all this information and data we gathered, it affects the usage on daily basis, whether it's for dishwasher or using the washing machine or the shower and the tubs and these. And we feed that back to our stakeholders and entities in order to understand the consumer behavior and how to react to it.
Very good. Well, thank you very much indeed. I'm now going to turn to Dr. Mohammed Yusuf Al-Medfei. He's Executive Director for Integrated Environment Policy and Planning at the Environment Agency of Abu Dhabi. Can you summarize the strategic objectives of water management in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. I hope everybody is having a good morning and enjoying the weather. I am pleased to be here today, part of this esteemed panel, and it's always nice to participate. And it's always a pleasure, actually, to participate in the International Water Summit. As you all may be aware, the UAE is suffering from water scarcity. We live in a water scarce region. And because of that, the UAE has a national interest. This places a national interest of building a competitive-based economy, building well-rounded lifestyles, and preserving the natural environment. This is why our leadership placed water as more important than oil. We can live without oil, but we cannot live without water. In order to achieve those national interests and the vision of our leadership, the government of the UAE, as well as the government in Abu Dhabi, have set an objective of ensuring that the demand and supply of water is sustainable at any given time, in the various sectors, of course. Of course, there are threats and challenges that are facing the UAE when it comes to water. We are facing high population growth, increased economic activity, which is driving demand, all of that. Water and energy are heavily subsidized. We depend on desalination of our water. We actually use in Abu Dhabi around 760 million gallons of water per day. And this means we depend heavily on gas for desalination. And gas, as you may be aware, is a finite source. We are over-abstracting our groundwater at a rate of 2 billion cubic meters per year, and we only use 54% of our treated water. However, from these challenges, we can see many opportunities. For example, the lifting of the subsidies from water-consuming agriculture production, such as rhodos grass, and increasing the tariffs have made consumers more aware of their water consumption, and it is driving consumption down. Another example, Masdar, in partnership with all the other stakeholders, is looking into solar energy desalination, and this will drive water production to be more energy efficient in the future. We at the Environment Agency, of course, have several projects under implementation to achieve the government's objective. One of these projects is the Abu Dhabi water budget. It is about adopting a water budget for Abu Dhabi, which we believe will be a major driver for water use efficiency. It is basically about allocating a specific amount of water for each specific sector in a balanced way, exactly as the government sets its financial budget. For example, if we were to increase supply of water to one sector, we would have to decrease that amount from another sector to maintain the balance.
Okay, well, I'm fascinated by the water budget. Maybe you could say, if you want, you're doing the analysis and the evaluation of water now. When would the water budget actually be announced and enforced?
Last year, we issued a research grant to the UAE University in coordination with Leeds University from the UK. And they have developed a detailed assessment of both the supply and demand side in the water budget and produced different water consumption scenarios based on different projections and assumptions. I welcome everybody to visit the Environment Agency stand to learn more about it. However, we consider the water budget as a very important planning tool, decision supporting tool. For example, if we want to accommodate a growth in the economy and population, we would either have to produce more water or increase water efficiency. The water budget's objective is to drive water consumption down by increasing efficiency in the various sectors. Of course, all of this will need to be agreed up with our partners in the Higher Committee for Water and Agriculture.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, sir. Just one other question. The Environment Agency of Abu Dhabi is responsible for managing the groundwater resources in the whole of the Emirate. What has the Environment Agency of Abu Dhabi done in the past 12 months to help sustain Abu Dhabi's limited groundwater reserves?
Yeah. In addition to the water budget, the Environment Agency is working on 3 initiatives, and hopefully this will be our contribution to Abu Dhabi and the water budget. First, we are implementing a well inventory project, and this is to ensure that we have all the existing groundwater wells permitted. We understand the condition of those wells, the quality of those wells, and how much water is abstracted.
And that project is advanced or complete, is it?
It is an ongoing project because we have around 100,000 wells in Abu Dhabi that we need to do that. Secondly, we have just completed a very important exercise. We believe it's very important, and that's the groundwater valuation exercise. We basically defined the economic value of groundwater in Abu Dhabi based on different social discount rates and consumption. From that exercise, the economic value ranges between 7 to 9 dirhams per cubic meter. And this can be used in the future as part of a return of investment calculation at a project level and to help inform water policy. One possible policy we're looking at is to help promote efficient groundwater use, maybe by allocating a free volume of water based on a specific crop calculator, and any water that is over that quota will be charged for.
Okay.
This will act as a driver for efficient agricultural practices. The third project, and I think this is a very important project for the Environment Agency as well, are the forests in Abu Dhabi. EAD manages all the forests in Abu Dhabi. That's around 3.5% of the Emirates area, 2,400 square kilometers. And we are talking here about 20 million trees. These forests consume around 11% of our water, abstracted groundwater, and our target by 2020 is to reduce water consumption by 20% in the agriculture, in the forestry sector. Of course, to achieve that, we are developing a crop calculator for forestry to help us conserve water. We will be using different metering techniques to inform us about the actual water requirement of each tree species through the different seasons and allowing us to manage our irrigation more efficiently. Also, we are already starting to phase out non-native and high water consuming species from our forests.
Which forest trees, types of trees?
Non-native species.
Oh, non-native.
Yeah, non-native species. And we also started upgrading and retrofitting our infrastructure in the forests that are related to water and management to reduce the consumption down.
Very good. Yeah. So, thank you very much, Dr. Al Madfay. Very interesting agenda there. Very visionary and very exciting. And Alan, of course, as the Abu Dhabi Sewage Services Company, is the 100% source of the water that's being used in the forestry sector. I think most of the water in the forestry sector is reused water. Am I wrong?
We are working on that at the moment as well.
Yes.
That's one of the ongoing projects, is to connect treated water into the forest.
Very good. So Alan will come in later with a few words. So thank you. I hope you are putting your questions through your iPads. Use this wonderful facility so we can get the most out of it. We've got about 15 minutes left, and we've got two more perspectives to be heard. So I'm going to turn immediately to Engineer Mohammed bin Jash, Managing Director of Abu Dhabi Water and Electricity Company. So the question I'm going to put to you, and the one that you're always asked, is what is the supply and demand forecast for the water sector in Abu Dhabi for 2016?
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody. I am pleased also to be around those colleagues and friends and with you guys. Actually, there is no significant increase. I'm just going to confirm what my colleagues had stated through the initiatives of everyone and the government initiative. We are seeing a slowdown in consumption, a reduction actually, and that is clear. And we are not forecasting also significant demand in 2016. It will be around 860 million gallons for the Emirate of Abu Dhabi.
860
million gallons.
And that's roughly the same as it was last year?
Yes, true.
Very good. Well, all I can say
that
is...
means the initiatives of our friends here are working.
I'd like to say on behalf of all my colleagues is to say congratulations to Abu Dhabi for doing something which is absolutely remarkable, because everyone believed that water demand was unstoppably going to increase. What an incredible achievement. So that's the first forecast. So yes. Let me turn to, so I mean, obviously we've heard about the tariff increase. You believe this is having a significant effect upon consumption of water in Abu Dhabi?
Yes, there are further analysis needs to be done. However, we are seeing that even though there were a lot of bulk supply connections and many new connections through our distribution companies and transmission companies, the transmission company, but there is a reduction over the consumption, and we can see it from the first day going through toward, especially in the last 3 months of 2015. That's why we are not forecasting a significant demand in 2015. And we still believe there is much, much more that need to be done in reducing and using our precious, especially we are in the most scarce region of the world in terms of water. And we still need to do more. And as my friend said, the initiative of supplying the forestry and other consumers with treated water, the power-wise and water-wise, so those initiatives, and we still need to do more, especially when we are one of the highest per capita use of water.
Okay, well, just the start of a very long, challenging, but very exciting journey for Abu Dhabi. And my final question is, given that you're seeing no increase in demand for water in Abu Dhabi Emirate, what does that mean for potential investment in the desalinated water sector over the next 5 years? Would it mean that you can say we don't need to invest much more in desalinated water? What are the implications for everybody involved in supplying services and equipment to that sector?
Actually, the whole portfolio of production and demand had changed, and we can see it. We have newcomers such as nuclear power. So even though that the demand is reducing, however, the economics variables had changed completely in the sector. So going forward, we would need to decouple power and water production and go to the membrane technology for economical reasons, for flexibility. So let's put it this way: for our friends around the market, we would need approximately 450 million gallons of RO technology over the next 5 years. We would be developing those million gallons slowly until we reach an equilibrium of economics and demand, because it's more efficient, it is going to be cheaper. And my friend here next to me is going to force me to do an economic purchase. So we are recommending actually to decouple and go for RO technology.
Well, what a significant declaration. We're talking about more than 50% of the desalinated water capacity in Abu Dhabi being accounted for by reverse osmosis. Separate units, not connected to thermal. Yes. This is a revolutionary change for the desalination industry of Abu Dhabi, the UAE, the Middle East, and the world. And perhaps you're the first people to have heard about it. So this is a remarkable change. Are you saying that, last question, and given you've been so candid, I'm going to put it to you, are you saying that Abu Dhabi now will no longer need any more thermal desalination, new thermal desalination capacity?
I will re-emphasize that we need to reach an equilibrium point. Both are needed. It's through diversification of energy. We are looking at our energy map, and going forward, we have to have the proper energy mix so we can ensure sustainability and reliability. Remember, we want to be sustainable. It is the way forward. However, we need also to be reliable.
Absolutely. There's no point in getting everything else right if you're not reliable. So, Mr. Bin Josh, and finally, now Alan Thompson from the Abu Dhabi Sewage Services Company. Alan, I ask these questions, and there's always something new you have to share with us. Just provide an update on the AD-SSC investment program, including Abu Dhabi's Deep Tunnel project.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Assalamu alaikum. We are continuing with the STEP program, which today we view commissioning starting in the middle of the year. So STEP, all going well. We're still constructing the pumping station, and we still have some of the linked sewer construction ongoing. But by the end of this year, that will be complete, and we should have significant quantities of water going through the pumping station in excess of 400,000 metres cubed per day will be processed through the pumping station in its early stages. Thereafter, we will be looking at decommissioning another 31 pumping stations over the next year to 2 years, with a view to all the 34 that were planned to be decommissioned being taken out of operation completely and being replaced by the single pumping station at the end of the step tunnel.
Great. Just a quick word, the length of the STEP, just remind everybody.
STEP is the Strategic Tunnel Enhancement Programme that we've been working on since its concept in 2007. We started with appointment of Programme Manager in 2008, and it is just about to become a reality in the sense of coming into the operational field as opposed to construction or planning. So it's going to benefit Abu Dhabi by reducing energy consumption, by bringing more efficiencies into our system, and to future-proof Abu Dhabi for growth in respect of developments, population, as per Abu Dhabi's 2030 vision.
Very good, and it's the first deep tunnel sewage system in Arabia.
Yes.
So congratulations on this project.
Thank you.
And the blue ribbon, if it's the right term, will be snipped in the summer. One other question. Any other projects, investment projects the ADSSC is developing? Because, of course, you are a partner in privatized sewage treatment plants.
Yeah. We've got, at the moment, we're reviewing budgets under the instruction of the Executive Council. But at present, we have new capital investment for this year of around 800 million dirhams. That is mostly in infrastructure and rehabilitation work. So nothing quite as iconic as our STEP programme, but nevertheless vital rehab and additional capability in the existing sewerage system and meeting the new challenges of an ever-expanding Abu Dhabi. From point of view of treatment capacity, it was interesting to hear my colleagues talking of reduced water consumption. At present, our trends, I think it's too early to say that we're seeing a reduction in the sewerage intake. The last 2 months, we've seen a drop, but that's typical in the winter months going across previous history of the consumption patterns of the volumes. The trend over the last 10 years has been roughly 7% per year, which equates to a doubling in the volumes every 10 years. And that doubling in volume has been consistent since the early 80s. Predictions from our friends in the Urban Planning Corporation are predicting growth of 3 to 4%. That may be population growth. That doesn't necessarily reflect water usage, and water usage is what counts. If we see a reduction in a sustained reduction in water usage and a sustained reduction in water coming into the sewerage system, then we would be able to defer investments in capacity moving forward. But at the moment, we are still planning for extending capacity based on the historic trends that we've met, and knowing that we have only so much headroom ahead of us before we have to look at extending systems.
Thank you very much, Alan. Well, I've got a few questions from Anonymous. I think they're all from Anonymous. Alan, are there plans to extend STEP to other areas of Abu Dhabi? Yes, no?
In a word, yes. STEP will accept or receive sewerage from all the new developments across Abu Dhabi. So in the sense that our network will extend, but it is always going to be linked into STEP. The only exception at the moment, significant exception, is Sadia Island, which has got its own system. Obviously, when we go beyond into the Western region, they've got their own systems.
Right, Mr. bin Josh, again, if you can keep punchy. Will UAE invest in hybrid only, which is our own thermal plants, or is it looking to focus on 100% RO plants?
Both.
Okay.
Both, actually.
Good. Dr. Mohammed Yusuf Al-Mayfay, will you be budgeting to reduce groundwater overdraft over time? Is that what you're aiming to do? Yes. Of course. to anybody, given the scarcity of groundwater, high cost of desalinated water, what are the barriers to using high-quality treated effluent in irrigation? I mean, at present, as we know, quite a lot of the water's been dumped. Are you going to be aiming to completely eliminate the dumping of treated sewage effluent? And if you're so, where is it going to go instead?
Yeah, we have a government target to eliminate dumping of treated sewage effluents by 2018. So by 2018.
By the end of 2018, so 2019 onwards, no more treated sewage effluent dumping.
Yes.
Well, there you are. Right. It's more complicated, this, than I thought, actually. I have to read it. A question here, I think, for Mr. Arif Hassan. How can all the stakeholders collaborate in the best way in the water sector?
Arif, but there are two committees.
Yes.
It's for Arif, but there are two committees in the government. The Water Strategy Committee and the Reuse of Treated Water Committees, where all the stakeholders are members, including IWS, our friends here, Riyadh, and RSP, and actually everyone around the table. Okay. So we are ensuring coordination and the reducing of dumping and all the issues related to groundwaters and other issues.
Okay.
And you would be seeing actually a change around the map very soon.
Okay, the organizational structure, that's what you're saying.
No, even responsibility of water.
Yeah. No, I got the message, yeah. A last question, actually, which is going to be put to Mr. Al-Mullah from the Ministry. So that both the Ministry of Environment and Water, the Federal Ministry of Environment and Water, and the Federal Ministry of Energy both work on water topics, it seems. So, how are you going to coordinate? Is there any effort to coordinate? I suppose the question is, you might ask that question, does UAE need a Ministry of Water as well as a Ministry of Energy?
Of course, there is very strong coordination between the Ministry of Energy and all the water entities and institutions in the country, as well as the Ministry of, in particular, Ministry of Environment and Water. I mean, we work very close to each other. We work hand in hand. For instance, if I give an example, a live example, the development of water, UAE Water Security 2036 project, it's an ongoing project. All the water entities, including the Ministry of Environment and Water, participated in the development stages of the project, preparation of the documentation.
But so who's the lead on water? Is it the Ministry of Energy or the Ministry of Water and Environment?
Both, actually. At the moment, we are looking more towards the desalinated water, the urban water cycle, and the Ministry of Environment and Water, focusing on the conventional water resources, groundwater and surface water.
Okay, well, I've got actually a couple of questions, Mr. Al-Khabazi, and then we'll take a break, because they're pretty good ones. One here is, usually the water quality deteriorates after I get home due to storage tanks, etc. How does the after the audit conducted in 2014, how does the RSB see the quality of water improving and dealing with that problem? Can you answer that question, Mr. Al-Khabazi? Isn't the answer to that question, get better water tanks?
We are getting water samples from the production plants and from the desalination, as well as from the distribution and transmission companies, and they are submitting these samples in continuous basis. And we are ensuring that they are doing whatever they can to comply with the water quality standards, and we don't see any issue at that. The water deterioration, what we experience in the Emirates of Abu Dhabi, where there is any dumping of waste or this, but it's not a common anymore.
Okay.
The environmental agency is taking care of this, and they have some monitoring programs to see if the seawater is deteriorating, and my colleague, Dr. Mohammed, can elaborate more on this.
Okay. Well, I suppose the answer to that question is if you've got a problem there, if you've got a local problem in your own water tank in your own building, that's something which the owner and the landlord has to address. The system itself produces perfectly clean, high-quality water.
We issued a code of practice for storage tank cleaning, and we are working closely with the Abu Dhabi municipalities and other municipalities in the region to ensure that they have some inspection regime. Also, in the case of inspecting the residential water storage tanks.
Yes, Mr. Bin Jalshid.
I have a question to the person who had asked that question.
Mr. Anonymous. Mr. Anonymous.
How long had you been away from home? I mean, the timing is very important. If you have a bigger tank and this water stays in the tank for an extended, very long period of time, you are right. One reason somebody might have increased the size of the tank unnecessarily. There are regulations and requirements that a certain size should be fixed and it should not be bigger. And depends on, this is now a personal info. If you leave your home for an extended time, then I don't mean a day or but 2 or 3, but when you come back, you should open the tap, let the water start circulating, and new water comes, or check with your landlord for the chlorination dosage that the internal maintenance company is doing.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that tip. Practical one. I'm afraid we've run out of time. What a fantastic session. I want to say thank you to a wonderful panel. Such a huge amount of information came out of that in a very reduced amount of time. But all I can say in conclusion is that we've heard what I believe is the launch of the most exciting and challenging water journey any country in the region has now embarked on. The results are going to be astounding and absolutely in line with the themes of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. So I want you to show your appreciation to our wonderful panel.